Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Superman DC Classic. Obviously, this is the light blue Superman, which I'm going to do the question of the day right now. Which version of red and blue basic Superman do you prefer? Do you like the real dark blue with the red? Do you like the light blue, royal blue? What do you liken the most? For me, I think I'm partial to a fairly dark blue and not an overly bright red, but I do kind of like the light blue. I grew up on some light blue Superman, so I'm okay with this one, so that's a good thing. But anyway, this figure is surprisingly good in a few ways, and then it does a lot of the things McFarlane figures usually do, but I think you guys might be pretty into this. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we get into the figure, I do want to get into my package. Standard DC Multiverse package from McFarlane. I like it. I think it's one of the better domestic packaging setups that we get for under $30 figures. Not too shabby. Artwork doesn't really go with the figure too much, so that kind of sucks. But, well, no, there's no but. It just sucks. Okay, let's get into the figure. This guy stands roughly, and we'll call it 18 centimeters, not counting his hair. That's going to be just about 7 1/8 inches, roughly. There he is up against Darwin, which is in a different scale, so that is about right for size. Now, there's a lot going on here that I like. It still suffers from usual problems from McFarlane Toys. There's not really much paint going on here. The belt is painted. It's kind of crappy. I think there's some paint going on here. I don't think it's two separate pieces of plastic. But either way, the S logo is pretty clean. Looks pretty good. Belt looks pretty janky. No paint anywhere else other than the face. So it does look quite plasticky. Now, usually a very plasticky figure can be saved by a good sculpt job. And this one's not bad. If you look at the details, like his thighs are really nicely meaty for a superhero, that's good. They're really well shaped for a superhero. He's got some nice meat to his calves, his knees pinch in. Pretty good proportioning there. His abs don't look too bad. That's all right. This is one of the best pecs that we've seen from McFarlane Toys. It's a little bit narrow, but this version of Superman wasn't huge. We'll come back to that in just a second. But if you look at all the detail sculpt work, not counting the weirdness in the joint here, it's pretty darn good for the musculature. Even the head, I think it's well sized. I don't like the goofy smile, but it's a good size. It's a good overall sculpt. Decent paint job. There's a lot to like about this. The cape, not the best cape in the world. There's a little bit going on, but it's fairly balanced on the figure, so it's not going to detract too much. And then we have the hands, which are just gigantic. So, lots of good going on there, but here's the real problem. This region right here. Shoulders, chest, and not really abdomen, just shoulders and chest. It's not big enough. And I don't mean for this version of Superman, I mean for the lower half. If you look from the belt down, he's huge. This looks like two figures put together. If I go like this, it looks fine. And if I go like this, it looks fine. But his hands and his crotch and his legs and feet are just way too big and meaty for this little chest and these little shoulders. They put it together wrong. I don't know how they managed this. Some of these parts look like they're new to me. I don't know if they are. I mean, they're new to me. I don't know if they're new to the line. So that's a little bit weird. Also, I don't know what's going on with the wrist things and the boot things. I don't think the classic version of Superman had that. So you guys can tell me about that. I'm not a Superman fan, so you guys can let me know if I'm wrong. But it's definitely just, if this was already in circulation and that's why it's on here, they don't line up. His hands are huge compared to his arms. Looks like a 19 or an early 2000s Cartoon Network drawing. It's just crazy disproportionate. The chest and abdomen, they don't go together properly. It's just weird. So in some ways it is the best, but in other ways it is totally jacked. Not in a good way. He's jacked in the legs and hands, but that's it. So it's not the infected Superman body though, so I'll give him that. But I'm going to give this guy only a 6 out of 10 for the aesthetic. It's just way too disproportionate when you actually look at it. Those hands are friggin' huge. All right, now for accessories, you do get the 2 fist hands that come on him in the package, then you get 2 open hands and 2 kind of other open hands. That's fine for Superman, that's all you really need other than an alternate head. That's not all goofy, that would have been great. You get one of McFarlane's crappy flight stands. They're okay. They're better than nothing, I guess, for flying characters, but they're very lightweight and flimsy, so they kind of suck, but like I said, better than nothing. And then you get the collector card that doesn't match the figure at all. So there's that. All right, accessory-wise, 0 out of 10. Taking spite points away for not having better accessories. I'm just done with these companies putting out garbage. Okay, let's talk about the articulation. The head does move around pretty nicely because we have double ball peg in there. Works pretty well. I'll take it. Cape is a little bit harder than I would like, but it's not too bad. Full rotation in the shoulder. Very little range on that ball peg. Arm gets up to better than horizontal. I'll take that. Bicep swivel is okay. Just be careful because he does have decent triceps. They bump into his lats back here, so you might have some issue rotating those arms around, but it is there. Double jointed elbow that is totally screwed up sculpt-wise. Is very functional, but you can see how broken that looks. It's really, really hideous on the outside, and for the fact that the hinge itself sticks out farther than the sculpt. So yeah, it's a pretty jacked up elbow. And then wrists are tiny little ball hinges that are sculpted, which they shouldn't be because it looks terrible in certain angles. All right, for the diaphragm joint, he can lean back pretty nicely. I'll take that, that's good. Doesn't lean forward at all. Gosh, side to side is all right. You do get tiny bit of rotation. Lower ball peg down here, he can lean back. He can't really lean forward, side to side is good. That's where you're gonna get your rotation. All right, for the hips, I'm guessing there's gonna be crap range here going out to the front. Out to the side though, you get almost splits, so I'll take that, that's good. And then going forward, yeah. Freaking action figures these days can't pose. That's insane. Okay, so yeah, you can't bring the legs forward, they do go back all right. And then thigh swivel is basically non-existent. Double jointed knee works okay, not great. Proportioning is okay, it's not great. And then for the ankle, we have our heavily ratcheted ankles from McFarlane Toys that makes it really hard for them to stand, but you do get good range, and the ankle rocker is effective. And the toe joint is perfectly acceptable. He also has very detailed boots that are very modern looking and not classic with those weird panels and things on there, so there's that. Okay, so his articulation kind of blows. It's not terrible, but it's not good, so I'll go 5 out of 10. Just because how many times are they going to make a Superman figure that's not very good? Weird. Oh well, okay, so let's go ahead and do a final rating. After we do a Cake rating, he doesn't have much going on for Cake. There's something there, but the way they sculpted his trunks, it's not good. It doesn't look quite right. He has some weirdness going on there. 2 out of 10, not a good Cake. Not good at all. Okay, time for the final rating on this guy. In some ways, it's the best. It has some really nice things about it, but that's not enough. There are too many bad things that pull all those nice things way down into the gutter. So I'm going to give this an overall rating of 6 out of 10. It's okay. If you really like a light blue Superman and can try to pose those things away, then go for it. It's definitely not the worst thing ever, and there are nice things about it. But it should just be so much better. It shouldn't be so, like, gosh, the giant hands and the tiny chest are so weird. For this version of Superman, he should have smaller hands and smaller legs, frankly. He wasn't super jacked, but this is like borderline Jim Lee Superman, just with a small chest, so that's what's weird about it, sculpt-wise. Anyway, that's it from me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos. But thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos almost every single day, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.